Man, did you know there's over 999 windmills in operation in Holland? And that ING Direct are also from Holland, who we are reviewing today. Today we're going to do a review of ING home loans. If they're good, if they're bad, if they're terrible, if the barefoot investor was always right. Nados?
Let's dive right in. So before we dive in today, guys, please like and subscribe our video, leave a comment and tell us what you think.
First person to comment gets a copy of our book, Home and Hosed. It's got 190 pages of home buying goodness. First one below, do it. We don't have to do it.
So ING is a large international bank, has over 38 million customers worldwide, is Australia's 5th biggest bank based on mortgages and savings. And today, we're going to review their home loan. We're going to look at the good, bad, and the ugly. And Jaden, why don't we start off with the 3 things that we think ING are good at? What's the first thing that ING do well from a home loan perspective?
Man, they can have super cheap, really good rates at certain times of the year. So ING are another one of those lenders, like some of the ones we've reviewed in the past, that do certain specials and offers at certain times of the year. So they'll have some really amazing rates for new customers. But if you're an existing customer, they don't do a lot for retention pricing. So generally speaking, if you've been with a bank for 2 or 3 years, there's a thing called rate creep, and your interest rate starts to sort of creep up and they give better deals to new customers and don't give it to old customers. Other banks will let you renegotiate. ING don't really let you do that. So you might need to look at other home loan options down the track.
Did you see the memo about this? Yeah.
Number 2 is they do 100% real pre-approvals. What's the diff?
That's right, we've talked about it in the past. There are some lenders out there that'll do your coffee shop pre-approval where they practically look at nothing. If it goes through the system, they say yes. ING don't do that. They do an actual assessment. It sits on someone's desk who looks at your pay slips, looks at your information and says, yes, you're pre-approved, valid for 3 months, which means you can shop with confidence and find the right home.
I like it. Another!
So the third thing ING are really good at that a lot of banks aren't great at is apartment lending. Notice why they're good.
That's exactly right. We've all heard it being said, in certain suburbs, in certain areas within Australia, banks aren't really wanting to lend in apartments. ING have no restrictions around this. As long as a property is over 40 square meters, they're more than happy to lend up to 95% on the property value.
Pretty good. Good work, ING.
Excellent!
All right, so Nathan, the 3 things ING aren't so good at. Starting with number 1 is a construction loan. Why do they suck at construction loans? Do they do them? What's the go?
Yes, Jaden, they don't actually allow construction lending. So what that means, if you are looking at buying land and building in the future, ING would be a no-go. Definitely not a bank that will help you do construction lending.
And it's just because construction can be a little bit more difficult. It can be time consuming, there's progress payments. We've got a whole other video on it, so you can check that out to understand what the construction process is. But if you're doing construction, ING is not your bank.
Disappointed!
Number 2 is credit criteria. So Jaden, tell me why ING have tougher credit criteria.
Yeah, their credit criteria can be particularly tough, and I've got 3 certain examples on that. So if you've been in your job for less than 6 months, ING don't want to deal with you. Their credit criteria can be very tough, whereas other banks will just do it with one payslip.
They'll look more at your industry experience. So if you've been in your job less than 6 months and you can't demonstrate 2 years history in the industry, then they're probably not going to be a fit for you.
The second thing is they're not great if you don't have genuine savings. So if you have a small deposit, you might have less than a 10% deposit and you don't have genuine savings to show, ING again aren't gonna give you a loan. Their tougher credit criteria comes in here. And the other thing is for investors. So if you're looking for more than a 5-year interest only period, ING's credit criteria just won't be a match for you and you have to look at other bank options. And so the third thing that ING aren't great at is getting your application approved very quickly. Now, why is that?
Yeah, they can be very inconsistent here. So what we mean by that is when you put an application through to the bank can generally get back to you within a couple of business days or completely blow up and take a week or 2. The reason for that being is depending on where they're positioned in the market, they can get large influx of applications, which does slow them down. So depending on when you do apply with them, they might have slower turnaround times. So keep in mind if you do have a finance clause pending.
Sure. Cool.
And the last bonus tip that they're not great at is they don't have branches, which I guess it can go either way. It can be a good thing because, I don't know, like you, Nanos, I use mostly internet banking, so I haven't been to a branch for a couple of years. So for me, it's not a big thing, but if you need to go and get a check cut because you're buying a car or something like that, ING might not be the bank for you.
So that's it for today, guys. What do you think of ING? Do you have a home loan with them? Have you had experiences? Please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and we'd love to hear from you.
Remember, first comment gets the book. See you guys soon.